Hi, I'm Wendy, and I'm a shamanic coach, and I'm with Horse Spirit Connections. And I'm one of those lucky souls that have been able to marry two of the passions in my life, shamanism and the horses. So today I want to talk about the horse and the human bond. And it's a ride to higher consciousness for both ourselves and the horses. So I wanted to talk about first, this is a book that I was invited to write a chapter in, Horses Teach You: A Path to Authenticity. And when somebody asked me to write this chapter, I said, I'm not a writer, I can't do that. And the editor happened to be a shamanic coach. And so she said, well, how would you connect to higher consciousness? And I said, through my pipe. She said, do a pipe ceremony and ask how you're going to write this chapter. So I did this pipe ceremony, asked Spirit, and was told that it's going to be written from the horse's perspective. I said, well, that's great. How am I supposed to do that? And they said, don't worry about it. A horse has been chosen that's going to speak the words that you're going to write. And I said, okay, I'll trust that this is going to happen. So Thor, our magnificent black Percheron, was the horse that came forward to say, I'm going to dictate to you what I want you to write in this chapter. And that's exactly what happened. I'm scribbling away and he's talking to me. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. At first I didn't even believe it because I've never had that kind of channeling experience where another being is talking to me and I can write down the essence of what he was saying. It was the most magnificent experience of my life to feel that connection with another species on this planet. So what we're going to do now is talk about consciousness. So all life has consciousness, has this spiritual essence. So I'd like to ask each one of you what you think spirit is. What does that mean for you?
I think to me it's the essence or inner integrity of any being that they can communicate out.
Thank you. That's what resonates with me, is that our inner essence of who we are. And we can apply that to humans, but it applies to every living thing. Whether it's a plant, whether it's a rock, whether it's a tree. There's this innate essence that is part of every living thing on this earth. In the East, we have the mineral consciousness. And I put the mineral consciousness in the East because that's the place of illumination and enlightenment. And for my personal journey, I've used crystals since my early 20s. And crystals as a way to raise my vibrational energy. So for me, they're illuminating that other essence, that consciousness that exists in the universe. And if we go to the West, it's human consciousness. And then normally in our shamanic wheels and in the 20 count, the human is in the center of the wheel. I deliberately wanted the human out of the center because we as humans think we have dominion over everything in our world. And I wanted to show that we are actually in partnership with everything in our world. That we need to be in cooperation with the mineral world, the plant world, the animal world. And in the South, we have plant consciousness. And a lot of people say, how can a plant have consciousness? I know that we have this beautiful ceremony, a tree ceremony, that we go and sit with our backs against a tree and share the wisdom of the tree. And I'm sure some of you have experienced that here. And it's without words. Although sometimes you hear messages from the trees. I think they have the closest DNA to the human DNA. And in the North, we have animal consciousness. And in particular, I want to talk about the horse. Through my studies with earth medicine, which is our shamanic teachings, It opened the door for my own personal consciousness. It also opened the door for me to see that there was a world out there, the plant world, the mineral world, the animal world. But it wasn't until 6 years ago that I started working with horses. Now they're providing spiritual freedom. And in a way that is so different than I ever expected. Because I am connecting to their consciousness directly. Whereas before I knew that I could connect, in a general sense, I had a general idea of it, I didn't get the knowing of it until I connected with the species consciousness of the horses. Now they're providing spiritual freedom. And in a way that is so different than I ever expected. Because I am connecting to their consciousness directly. Whereas before I knew that I could connect, in a general sense, I had a general idea of it, I didn't get the knowing of it until I connected with the species consciousness of the horses. Now the scientists say that every species has a consciousness, and it's called the morphogenic field. The horses teach us how to be in our heart space and have something called heart resonance. And there's the Heart Math Institute in the States that has been doing all this research that shows that the heartbeat of a horse is slower than that of a human. And just by standing next to a horse, we can actually lower our heart rate and be in that place that we can access consciousness in a much easier way. So a lot of times when we meditate, we're actually lowering our heart rate, we're using our breath to go into that space. Well, this connection with horses and humans actually helps the horses as well. Just we as humans are trying to raise our consciousness, the horses are trying to raise their consciousness. It's a forgotten art. We all knew how to do this thousands of years ago. So for the horses, when we're raising and connecting with them in this way, it allows them to bring that consciousness more back to them as a species. And they can bring it into this physical world, and it can allow them to flow and shape some of their lives here in this reality. So I'd like to just finish by reading something that Thor said at the end of the chapter. As humans learn to live authentically, they gain a deeper access to their inner body knowing, receiving immediate access to a greater wisdom through a wondrous connection with the universe. We horses stand ready to share our insight, sparking humankind's ability to access their higher self, their guide to a life of mindfulness and fulfillment. As we all connect to this energy, we join in the infinity loop of creation, leaping together as we journey to a realm of new possibilities and experiences. I am Thor, and I share with you the wisdom of my horse ancestors.